Okay, good afternoon, everyone. I think only 12 people here, so we shall wait for 5 minutes. Okay, we will start the practical. Only 17 participants. I don't know whether what they are doing. Other people. So we have done the flashpoint test for the diesel fuel for the last session, right? So today's session about we are trying to find out the flashpoint for the petrol, or we can call it as gasoline, right? So first the same procedure and same apparatus we are going to use, so I don't need to explain again it. So I think you all know, right? So same as what is flashpoint, right? And what is fire point, we have discussed, and I think you all understood those things. And this Pensy Martin apparatus again we are going to use for the petrol fuel, right? So this is flash analysis fuels number 2, right? So it is we have definitely 2 sessions because if we are going to demonstrate right this practical then session, then we have to make it as 2, right? Because it takes a lot of time, right? So that I decided to divide into, it already have divided into 2, so doesn't matter. So it is about gasoline, right? Today's session about gasoline, right? We have discussed about diesel fuel, right? But the petrol is not like diesel, right? Because we can look again, we have to use this separators, Pensy Martins, okay? So if we look at the petrol fuel that specimens and the fuel flashpoint temperatures, those things, it is very low, right? It is below 21 degrees Celsius. That's mean below the room temperature. So how we are going to find out the test the flashpoint for this petrol fuel? It is very difficult. We can't find out in our room temperature, because we have to get some places, right, which is air conditioning or something. We have to get that environment where we are going to test this petrol fuel below this flash point temperature, right? That environment should be below the flash point of the petrol fuel. So it is very difficult. So we couldn't have that place or laboratory to do this to find out flash point for the petrol fuel. So we have done in our room temperature, and see you can see what will happen, right? What has happened. So we have recorded video, and you can see as we are doing this flash point test for this petrol fuel, our temperature was 30 degrees Celsius, right? Again, we have done in room temperature. So it when we are doing flashpoint test, when we are doing the flashpoint test for this petrol fuel, we know that that sample already have passed the flashpoint, and some whatever we checked, and you can see it in that room temperatures, it reaches that fire point also, right? So it start to burn actually. So we have record videos, and then I will show it to you. So same as this, but approximately it may we don't have the ratio, right? Because of we have, you know, that different uh, level of carbon, right? Uh, we call it as octane, right? We have different octane level of fuel, right? Octane 90, octane 95, like that. You heard in the petrol side when you are filling your vehicle, right? Filling fuel to your vehicle. So as the octane numbers is changed, that carbon, right? Carbon ratio changes, price point also will change, right? However, that fuel, the petrol fuel has the flash point uh, below the 21 degrees Celsius. It can go to the 10 degrees Celsius, so it can go. It may go to the 0 or minus, right? According to the carbon ratio, right? That octane, right? Octane number. So somehow we had some sample of petrol fuel from our lab. So we have done that test in our room temperature. So I will show it you. So petrol vapors can ignite, right? Same as that diesel also, it vapors also ignite with that air and vapor mixer, right? So it is happening in that combustion chamber also, right? If we take that engines, petrol engines, right, inside that combustion chamber, right? And there will be a combustion occurs, right? That combustion is reason for that combustion is petrol air petrol mixer, right? That means petrol vapor and air mixer. That is the reason for the combustion, right? So same as that as it has a lower flash point temperature, in the room temperature also it can be ignited, it can be fired, right? It can be reached to fire point. That means petrol is danger, right? If we introduce the any flame or something in the petrol, what will happen? It has already reached that flash point or fire point, maybe. Then it can burn, right? So that is the thing that we have to consider in the petrol fuel. So we will go and I'll show you the video. After watching that video, we will go into that applications. I already told you in the first session. In this session, we are mainly focusing on applications, right? Application of this kind of test, right? The flash point test, right? So first, I had I took 3 applications from internet, and I'll explain later those applications, right, deeply. Then as your discussion part also, uh, you have a question regarding applications, right? So you can write, you can find out in the internet more, right? So before going to the application, we will I'll show you the video, right, for this flash point testing for the petrol, right? Okay, can you all hear me? Hear this video? Do you hear the sound of this video?
No, sir. No sound.
No
No
sound.
sound. No sound, sir.
to test the we are going to find and hear it now.
Yes, sir. Now, okay.
Okay.
Okay. So here we are going to test the we are going to find out the flash point for the petrol sample, right? So here you can see the inside the cup we already fill the petrol up to that that mark, right? So same as that diesel or any other fuel, we have to uh, fill with the sample inside the cup, and then we have to close this lid. So cup pure copper, right? So that the conductivity is high enough. Right. It is not made by copper. It is made by brass, right? Into the heat compartment. So right after place this cup in this setup, we can start the procedure. Then we have to insert this thermometer also, so that we can from the outside we have to measure the sample temperature, so that we have to insert this thermometer here, and from the outside we can find out the sample temperature. So now it is in room temperature, so we don't need to start the heater, right? Switch on the heater, because it is petrol now. It already reaches that flash point. So just we have done in that testing in that room temperature. Later we have to switch on the power button, right? The start the testing, right? But in here we are going to test the petrol, so that this for this fuel the flash point is lower than the room temperature. So we couldn't find this flash point. So our atmosphere temperature is more than the flash point, so that we will check this we reach higher the flash point or not. Then for your discussion part and those things, you have to describe, and you have to state the reasons for why we couldn't find the flash point for this petrol fuel, right? So we will start it, and we will introduce the fire and see whether it is ignite or not, right? Right here, through this LED we make sure that this already switch on the power button, right? So now we don't need to supply any heat here, so we will just introduce the fire and check. Right. Now I am after pressing that test button, you can see this, there will be a flame in the electric heater, right? So we can, by using the lever, black color lever, we can introduce the fire to the sample environment, right? So a sample atmosphere, right? That there will be a fuel vapor fuel and air, right? Going to introduce the fire inside this cup, right? You can see this is burning, right? That means it is higher than the yeah. So that is already you can heat here. Check, right? So I'll so another video we have recorded separate inside this cup, right? You can see. You can see that it is burning, right? It is not flash, right? It is burning. That means it reaches. It already reached to the fire point, right? So that is um, that's the find out from
Right?
this experiment.
Right? You can see this is
It is like yellow color flame now. When it is mainly when it is the flash occurs, mostly it is like blue color flame, right? And when it's burned, when it's reached to that 5 point, it burned like a blue color flame. So from that, and it burns, and also it burn more than 1 or 2 seconds, right? It's burn continuously. It will burn. That is the 5 point, right? So from that we can identify it as the 5 point. It reaches to the 5 point.
burning, right? That's mean right? You can see this is
Okay, I think you all at least you all understood that it is on it is in already it is in that the fire point, right? That is a thing. So we couldn't find out this flash point. If you want to find out the flash point, we have to decrease the temperature. That sample and the environment temperature should be decreased below the flash point. So it is not practicable, right? Yeah, tell me.
If you want to decrease the temperature now, so how normally how much the temperature, the flash point temperature for the petrol?
Yeah, yeah. For the petrol, I have shown in the display below 21 degrees Celsius, right? Below 21 degrees Celsius, it can go to 0 degree or -degree. It is depend on the contamination and depend on the chemical, right? The component of that fuel, right? In that, if we take the particular fuel, in that particular fuel also there will be a different type of categories. No? Like in that petrol also there are different types, different categories. You can see we are using petrol for the car and motorbike, some and also we may use petrol for the different aircraft, something, right? We may use,
It's
we call it
super
as
petrol,
something.
normal petrol,
Yeah,
like
small petrol. Yeah, it is that means that content changing. And also the main changes is the carbon ratio, right? The carbon ratio, that is we call it as octane. We call it as octane 95, octane 90 petrol we using in that mainly we use for the car and motorbikes, right? Octane 90 and 95. So depend on that categories, it will change. But however, it will, if it is a petrol fuel, however, it will lower than the plasma will be lower than the 21 degrees Celsius, below the 21 degrees Celsius. So we can't go to that below 21 degrees Celsius, right? Without, if you want to go that below the 21, we should have the, at least we should have the air conditioning setup. So we don't have that one, and we
yes.
don't have that setup, lab setup, so we couldn't do that. So I just done in the room temperature and take a video so that I can explain to you. So so in this that's why I include this part of this session with that application. So
Sir,
tell me.
we can increase the flash point temperature, sir, to above the 21 degree.
No. You can increase if you want to increase. If it is, it can if it is contaminate something, or if it is, if it take, if it is a petrol, then that means it is below 21 degrees Celsius, right?
Okay.
So if you want to increase, then it will then fuel type will be changed, right? It will automatically become as not petrol. We can say it as call it as petrol, right? That is a thing. But if you take diesel, what is a flash point? We have seen last picture. It is above that. We got it 79 degrees Celsius. I don't know. Do you remember not? 79, right? 78 to 79. So you can see the difference, right? Diesel and petrol. That's the thing, right? petrol have the below 21 degrees Celsius flash point, diesel have the 52.
30,
Yeah, tell me.
79.
Yeah, 79.
Diesel have that plus point. So we can compare the petrol and diesel. The petrol is very low now, sir. Plus point is very low, 20.
Yeah, very low, and we should be careful while using petrols and while transport, or if you want to store or transport the petrol fuel, we should be careful. It is flammable. It is hazard, right, than the diesel fuel, because the diesel have that, according to but that is one of the application, right? According to the flash point of the fuel, we will decide how safety this one, right? Right, how risk this fuel, right? It's according to the flash point we will decide, right? If it is very low the flash point, then it is very risk is very using those kind of fuels, right? So it is the petrol is already have lower flash point than the room temperature, so that it is it is a very risk, right? So, and also not only for that, let's go to the slide, and very good. If you have any doubt, you can ask anyone. You can ask, right? And other, if you don't like to ask to me, or you can just type in the chat box, right? I will tell you. So we will move to the application, right? So this flash point doesn't matter. Flash point is that the minimum temperature which if we introduce that that fire or flame, it can catch up fire, right? It can catch up fire at the minimum temperature. That is a flash point, right? We already discussed, right? If we, without reaching that flash point, that fuel have not able to fire, right? Flame, that burn or something, right? So if we keep that some fuel in below the flash point of that fuel, then it is always safety, right? There's no way to any accidents or any blast or combustion occurs, right? To occur the combustion also, to burn that fuel, right? If you want to burn something, then it should reach that flash point, right? Otherwise, it can be, it is not right. It is safety. That up to that point, the flash point temperature, that will be safety. That is the thing. That is the thing. First application also. So we will move to the application. I will explain. The first is fire and investigation, fire protection. That is I already explaining the fire investigation and fire protection, right? We are, as we are transporting a lot of fuels, right? Which we are converting from the crude oil, right? Lot of fuels, right? We are transporting and storing, right? So we should know the each fuel have we should know the flash point of the each fuel, right? Otherwise, it is very dangerous to store or transfer, right? And by fixing that temperature sensor, right? If we, let's say, if we are transported by using vehicle or something, right? Fuel or something with the tank, right? So we should have, if we want to increase the safety, we can measure the, before transporting that fuel, we can measure the get in sample, and we can measure the flash point, and we know the temperature room that surrounding or environmental temperature using, we can use the temperature sensor, right, from that vehicle or that tank of that fuel, right? So using that temperature sensor, we can observe it is reaching that flash point or not, right? If it is lower flash point than the room temperature, then we should be careful, right? Because if anything, if any flame introduced into that fuel, then it will be burned, right? That is the thing. So that we should we also try to always try to keep that store and keep transport that fuels below the flash point temperature. That is a safety procedure, right? So for those papers, we have to measure this flash point of each fuels, right? Fuels or any lubricant oil or any flammable liquid, right? It can be any flammable, right? Not only the fuel, right? It can be a oil or something, right? And the first thing is protection, right? Risk, right? To measure the risk, we can say simply we can say this to measuring the risk, right? To measure the risk or calculate the risk, we have to know that flash point of that fuel, right? So here, those things I mentioned, I think the flash point is an important concept for investigation and fire protection, right? Because it is lower temperature at which risk fires exist, right? Yeah, it is a lower temperature, right? Below, if it is when we keep below the flash point temperature, it is safety, right? So, and the flash point was developed for the purpose of determining the hazard, and also in that yeah, in that old days we don't have that much technology, we don't have this technique to test this and find out the flash points. So we had had a lot of accidents, right, in the past years, right? So before this before using this type of test, before testing and find out this flash point, right? So that we should some of because of some of the accidents occurs, so they find out how to minimize the accidents, and for the safety purpose they are trying to find out the try to get a way to find out the flash point. That is this Penske-Martin apparatus, right? That is how the Penske-Martin apparatus invented, right? So before that apparatus, they don't have that much knowledge, or they don't have this determining or testing the fire flash point. So it is very risk, no? So that it is find out that purpose of fire protection, right? So this we will go to the second application, right? So I will have two application. I will explain it briefly, right? Later I will give you time, right? And I will randomly, in that time I will randomly ask the question one by one. So you can ask any question, we can clarify these things later. We'll go to the lab reports, those things, and okay, those are the things we are going to do today. So the second application is detecting the lubricant oil dilution, right? Dilution, right? Because we have lot of categories of fuels. Sorry, the lubricant oils. Fuels also we also have the different categories of fuels, but in the lubricant oils, you know that there are numbers. We call it as oil as numbers, lubricant oil, right? Brake oil, engine oil. It is different from the we call it as by numbers, right? So you can and also we use different oils according to the different vehicle, right? Because when they manufacture the engine, the manufacturer will be like some number of oil, right? So then we should use that number, exactly that number of oil for that engine. Otherwise, that will be broken or something, right? So the lifespan of the engine will be reduced, right? If we don't use that recommended oil, right? Because the number will vary according to the viscosity also, and there will be a dilution also. Dilution also can be occur. Dilution means when we use engine for long time, you know that it will become that you can see after using long time, you can get that used oil from the engine to outside. You can see it is like diluted. That means that fuel also came to that oil tank, and it can also mixed, right? And also as the engine is heat up, right? Heat up always, right? So that the oil also will heat up and heat down like that. So it causes to there are wearing also occur, so that there will be a lot of contaminations. Those things happen in the inside the engine, right? With that lubricant oil. So that we are changing after some time. We always changing the oil, right? You can see that in that time it may occur dilution, right? That means if we if some that fuel mixed with that oil, what will happen is that oil become dilute, right? That means the oil viscosity will be reduced, right? So if we take that new oil, then we can check that using that simply in the garage or something. In many garages, I think they can have this pencil marking apparatus. Then if we take a sample of the new oil, and they can check, right, what is the dilution of the oil, right? If we don't know the number of the exact number of the oil, by using by checking that flash point, we can find out the number, that viscosity level, right? And not only that flash point test we are going to use in that case, we are going to use different other tests also with that flash point test, right? Viscosity test also, we have viscosity index and viscosity. To measure the viscosity test index also, we have different apparatus, right? Apparatus test, and that is different test, right? So this kind of flash point test also can be used to combine with that those kind of viscosity test and with viscosity index test, right? I think you will have the practical about viscosity test, so don't worry about that. Later you will have. So in this module, so combined with those tests, the flash point test will be useful to find out the dilution and contamination, right? So those things we can find out that altogether we can say it as the quality of oil, right? If we used sometime for using sometime for the engine, right? It already used. That means we don't know the exact quality, right? The quality, however, it will reduce, but we don't know the exact. It can be used further or not, right? So by using this test, we can identify the dilution, right? So that is the application number 2, right? Here, those things I mentioned detect the quantity fuel dilution, right? The quantity, how much diluted, right? We can measure, right? So, and combined with other tests such as viscosity index, specific gravity, right? There is also other type of test, right? The flash point can be reveal both the quality of the crude oil from which the lubricant fuel was derived, and also we can find out that base of the oil, right? If we have some lubricant oil, we can find out by using temperature, this kind of test, we can find out that crude oil. From that crude oil, no, we have get different fuels and oils and everything, and grease and everything we will get from crude oil, right? That is a base, right? So we can find out the quality of the base also, right? According to the, if you have good quality in the base only, we will get good quality in the products, right? That in all products, right? If we have poor quality crude oil, then if we use any petroleum corporation, it doesn't matter. We'll get low quality fuels, right? So we can measure, we can derive the quality of crude oil which used to derive this duplicate oil, right? Those things also we can measure using this kind of test, right? So that this test, I think you will understand, this test will be used in always used in the petroleum corporation, right? Because they should have this they will have some lab regarding this activities, test and the safety procedure, right? In this in that lab they will testing that using testing different tests like the flash point and viscosity, those things. They will determine the quality and safety of their products, right? And lastly, that the viscosity flash point has always stand part of the lubricant specification, right? Yeah, that is the part I explained before. That flash point that also using flash point also in the petroleum corporation they will specificate, right? They will make it a category this fuels, different type of fuels, right? Using this kind of test, right? Okay, so we'll move to the last one. Last is application is used oil analysis, right? Used oil analysis. Used oil analysis means that I'm here mentioning this application. Like as I said before, in many garages and the repairing shops, they will have this kind of test, right? Different test, so that they can understand the root cause of the failure. If some engine broke or something, if let's say if my motorcycle engine suddenly it broke, right? So if you want to find out the root cause, simply we can say here they will just change the engine piston. If it broke something, they will change the broken part and assemble some, right? Again, after some it may broke because we don't know the root cause. How it's happened, we don't know. So to find out that one, we have to test. There will be oil and those things, no? Then they will test using flash point tester and everything. Then that will be help to find out the root cause, right? It may reason that I may used oil, right? Oil without changing for long time. I may used I may didn't change the oil for long time. That is a reason, right? But I don't know how it is break, right? If we don't know that oil viscosity and those things, if we find out the exact viscosity and flash point, those things, if we find out those things, we can find out okay, this is used more than its limit, right? That's why it is this engine has broken, right? They can find out those things. So if you want to research or something, if you want to find out the root cause of some failures or something, we can use, right? For that we have to use we have to test the used oil, no? That is the third application here, right? Used oil analysis. Here I mentioned the flash point test may provide the earliest indication of certain failure, right? And also we can, before failure also, we will check to identify this this oil is capable or not. Just take an example of baked. Just we can check whether it is capable or not, this oil now, right? If it is already contaminated, it is already that viscosity level already reduced, then we have to change it. Then that should be the safety of the engine. That will help to keep the engine safety, right? So, and we can find the indication, right, from using this kind of test, right? And it is very low cost, right, and simple, right? And because if you take if you have pencil martin apparatus, that's enough. It's very simple. Anyone can do it, right? Anyone can do it, right? Just take a sample and you can do it and find out the flash point, right? Then you can find out the exact flash point, the true flash point and how much it reduced. Then by using those things, you can analyze what is a horse, right? So, and very simple and very low cost, right? Therefore, it is commonly used, right? The uh, most people used to analyze the root cause of the failure. They use this kind of this test, mainly this test, right? With respect to other tests, it is very cheap, right? Cheap and easy, right? So these are the applications that I wanted to tell you today. So as I mentioned earlier, we will go to that discussion part here now. I think if you don't clearly understood, if you have any clarification, if you have any questions, please ask, or please put questions in the text box, chat box. So, okay, let's write index number, sorry, that trace number to the chat box so that I can take down the, yeah, write your index number that 2018 ET something like you have to write that number, right? I don't know, index number or race number. Yeah, write those things, right? So I will take it as attendance. Okay, that's why I asked you. And if you have any questions, you can just ask. Don't worry. Okay, is everyone wrote their numbers? Okay, then okay, first one is 066. Who is 066?
Yes, sir.
What is your name?
Roj, sir.
Niroj. Then Niroj, have you understood about this plus point application of this plus point and those things?
Yeah, sir.
Yeah. Then I explained 3 applications. No? Tell
Yes,
me
sir.
one. Tell me one application.
Detect the lubricant oil dilution.
Yeah. We can. We can, using this plus point test, we can detect the dilution of the quality of the lubricant oil, right?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Very good. Then 058. Who is Mendis? Mendis, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then so have you submitted your lab report?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Very good. Okay. Then I think you will submitted the sum of your lab submit. I think I don't know. Please submit before the due date. Otherwise, you will lose some marks without a point, right? So there's no point to reduce marks. I don't want to reduce marks really, but please submit because we have we are having due date now. That's mean there are a lot of people submitting before due date. Then if you submit one or two of you submit after due date, then we have to separate, right? Because they have answered quickly. They are respect our due date. No? Then that is the thing, right? So if you have any problem or something, just if you are submit after submitting the due delays, then it doesn't. We can give you excuse. Don't. It depends on your reason, right? So if you are just something, it can be any problem or it can be any difficulty or something for you. We don't know, right? So just at least contact me and message me, right? So message me at you can talk to Naranjan, right? I don't know that late submission will be, I will be that handle, but if I think I plan to discuss with him about that those who not attend that class as practical class, and about late submission, I will. He asked Naranjan sir asked me to do reduce some marks, asked me to reduce reduce the marks as half, right? So I don't. Yeah, tell me.
One person has left. Now he can't log again.
Login.
Oh, now he can't.
He told you. What is the index number?
Yes.
Have you put? Have you write his index number here?
What's that?
Has he write his index number here or not?
Don't know, sir.
No. What's his index number then? Tell me.
Okay.
I can take it as present. So otherwise, no point. Only for him. Okay. Then everyone, no one take it as advantage. Okay. Then I think 1K. So then 0.58. Then Mendis. So tell me, Mendis, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Tell me what is the range of that flash point?
52 to 96.
No, for the petrol. Do you have any idea about petrol flash point for the petrol?
Excuse me, sir.
Flash point for the petrol fuel or gasoline?
Below 21.
Below 21 degrees Celsius, right? Okay. Okay. Then
55. 2018 ET 55.
okay, 55. Okay. 55. Okay.
Accepting.
60, 58, 70. Zero two.
Yes, sir.
What is your name?
Aruthat.
Okay. Tell me, Alutpat, give some applications of this flash point.
Used to oil analyze,
Yeah.
detect the lubricant oil dilution,
Yeah.
fire investigation and fire protection.
Okay. Very good. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Who is 27?
Yes, sir.
Hey, Goda, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then did you understood about this session?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Very good. Then tell me. If it is not covered this session, but I will ask this for to think, right? It is if we take one new oil, right? We are measuring the flash point, right? So it is like X degrees Celsius, right? Then we are using that new oil for a certain time for some vehicle, right? Then we are take out the used oil, same used oil. We are measuring the flash point. It is y degree Celsius, right? Which is greater. X is greater than y, or y is greater than x. What do you think?
Y greater than X.
That after using it will the flash point will be increased. You are saying?
No, the flash.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Don't worry. Because after if you use sometime for a vehicle, what will happen is this that oil will be contaminated. No, contaminated mean it there will be other particles mixed with that oil, right? Then that will prevent that preventing that vaporization of the fuel. Okay, if we mix some dirts with that some fuel, what will happen? That will prevent that rate of that vaporization. Therefore, that the plasma will be increased, right? So this is just to I want to ask you to think. That's why I just asked you. Doesn't matter. Okay. Okay, only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Only how many are here? 21 now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 19 people here. 66, 58, 38, 48, 2, So I think some of you didn't type your index number in the chat box. Please type it, write your index number in the chat box. Otherwise, you will note it as absent. Please write your index number. I think 19 of you are written here, but in this class there are 21 members. So 2 of you didn't write the index number. Please tell the index number, otherwise write the index number, otherwise we will take it as absent for this class, right? 66, 58, 70, 38, 48, 2, 94, 47, 58, 28, 27, 74, 99, 53, 18, 44, 22, 8, 55, right? If you are, if anyone they are without other than this this index number, please write the index number or tell me. I don't know what is happening. Then some of you, I think you are not listening. I think you just log in this practical session and you are doing something else. I think it is not good for this good behavior. No? So please, that's it, and we'll go to the lab report writing. So for the last practical, I asked you to write some discussion question also. This also kind of discussion part only. Yeah, you don't need to write any theory part because in this the previous practical that has the theory part, right? So both are same, no? That means that is okay. Someone should write 24. Okay, 24. Right. Still one of you didn't write. I don't know. Okay. Then there you are writing that theory, so you don't need to write same theory again. So I just write on some different questions than other that discussion part which is mentioned in the lab sheet. So I think you will refer that lab sheet, right? I believe in that. So first discussion one is the question is discuss the results, right? It is about petrol fuel, no, but we haven't done, no. Then you can discuss why we couldn't done, why we couldn't find out the platform for the petrol fuel in this using in that environment, right? We can write those things, right? We can write why we couldn't find the plasma. Okay. Then the second part is discuss about the base oil cracking, right? What is base oil cracking? Just you can search this keyword in the internet. Base oil cracking, you will get. Okay, that is up to you because I give some different things to search, work on your own, right? So third part is it safer to fill the tank full in your automobile, right? Let's say if you're refilling every time the vehicle, no, then someone keep filling full, someone is filling half or something, right, in the tank, right? So it is about try to think about the plus point of view, right? Plus point of view. Then write refer try to you can search and refer something in the internet and write your own, right? It is safer or not, right? It's it can change depend on you, right? Depend on your opinion, right? So you can write whatever, right? It is safer or not, right? The last one is expression application, right? It is about application, right? I have mentioned 3 applications. You have to find out some more applications and you can take these application also you can, but you have to explain it briefly, right? And explain it briefly, right? So these 4 parts should be include in your report, right? Lab report, right? You should write your own with your hand and take a photo and make it as PDF and upload it, right? I will create a link later, then you can upload it in your LMS. So you can just by logging this one, just take a note for this discussion questions because these are not in the lab sheet, right? So you can get from lab sheet, then you have to play the video again. Go to the YouTube and play the video again to find out this discussion part, so that it is better to note this discussion part, right?
Sir,
Yes, tell me. If you
can you,
doubt regarding writing this report, ask.
sir, can you upload this slide on the LMS? Sir?
Do you need this slide?
Yes.
Okay, I didn't think about that. Okay, if you want, then I will upload. No problem. Okay.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Okay. Then you can find out there. Then and the thing is, you can ask, right, like this. I think wait, 039. Okay. Okay. 090. Already 20 here. Is there anyone 044 like that? No, right? Then it's that should be 090. Okay, 90. Okay. Sir, can you upload the next video and not some problem, sir? Yes, I will upload this lecture video in our YouTube channel, and you will have the link in that LMS, right? Before that practical number 3, right? There you will have that this Zoom video link, and you, by clicking there, you can play that this video, and below that I will upload this slide also, right? You can have that this slide. You will have the PDF form of this slide, right? Then yes,
Sir, one doubt, sir.
yes, you can ask, please.
We can see the oil, sir. The oil have some viscosity level, no, sir.
Yes, yeah,
First time we can see that viscosity when we use the oil for engine oil or something.
yes,
After some circles, sir, the viscosity will be reduced, no, sir.
yes, it will be reduced.
Yeah, the first time also they have a plus point, no, sir, for the oil.
Yeah.
Plus oil.
Yes.
After we are using, the viscosity will be reduced. That time the plus point will be increase or reduce. Increase.
Yeah, it is. I think, in my knowledge, I think it is increased because there will be contamination. Then there will be reduction in that viscosity. That is correct, right? If it is when the viscosity is reduced, that oil will more evaporate, right? That is your point of view, I think. That is okay, but I think there will be a lot of contamination inside that. There will be wearing parts also, no? They are not, that dust and
Yes,
dirt, those things. That
mass.
will cause to detect that evaporation, because those things will absorb the temperature, and that is a thing, right? Then that will cause to reduce that, increase that plasma.
Yes.
If you want to flash up that oil, then we have to increase the dosing, right? Sometimes it can be happen, but most of them, I think the plasma is being increased. Or if you have a doubt anything, you can just refer the internet. I also just referring internet. Right? Don't worry about that. Just you can. Thank you for asking. Right? It's a good question. So you can ask anything about that, and don't think I am also always telling true or something, right? I just referring for some days. I just referring and preparing those things, right? That's where I get this knowledge. That's I wanted to give you, and I wanted to. That's why I asked you to search something on online also in the discussion one. The base oil cracking also, you can find out those things in this kind of in this when you are writing answer for this one. Very good. So, and you can ask any doubt regarding writing the lab report, right? Because if you have any doubt, it's better to ask. Otherwise, it's difficult right now. So there's a thing. So if anyone question, is there any question?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Yeah, then okay. Someone putting no, sir, in that text chat box. I think he need to go and eat have lunch or something. Okay, then as it is a very small practical, we can wind up here. I think it is like a part of the previous practical. Now they are finishing with this short time. I think next practical onwards it will take a lot of times, and also they are not taking any video for the next practical, because other practicals are have to record the video in the engineering faculty, so we didn't have any permission yet. So therefore, I'm not sure about that then we will stop here. So I think you all have some idea about this flash point and those things. So thank you very much. Bye.